Hi, this is Dora. I hope everyone's well, and thank you for visiting my channel. Just wanted to share with you what I'm working on for October project. It is for Kreativ Paper Artisan YouTube Monthly Theme Challenge. For this month, October, we're working with the color orange and imagery fall leaves, and this is the best uh, time of the season that I truly enjoy. So now I have completed some of the pockets, the tags, and the belly band that's listed right here. And the tutorial playlist, I have not gotten there just yet, but I'll share that as I continue um, down the way, and I'll share that information of what I've chosen and what I did. So, excuse me. And this is usually how I start with an image, just a sketch of it. And this is sketched on just a tracing paper. And so I went ahead and cut out a pattern of one side of her shirt, and I went ahead and sewed it down as well. And here is another pattern that I cut out is the other side of her shirt, and I'm going to do the same thing. It's the same process of sewing it. And I layered this with a piece of cotton fabric that I tea-dyed a while back and a cardstock. And it's kind of like how it looks like on the back. So when I look at an image, I first look at it as where I'm going to put the color, the coloring, and just the space of stitching, and to add the fabric to it. So one thing I realized about stitching these type of image, and I'm only doing this as a beginner, so I'm not an expert in all this textile type of thingy, but I do enjoy it. So that's one thing I wanted to share with you is I really enjoy this type of stuff. So as I was saying with the thing that I just realized with sewing the images, sewing lips and fine details like lips and eyes, perhaps the hair too, is that when you sew it down, it's not going to quite come out the way the image looks like what it looks right now. But I'm okay with that. You know, what I enjoy about this whole thing, again, is that, you know, I think about it as an abstract piece of art. So whatever becomes of it after sewing, I go along with it. So that's one thing I wanted to point out. So the next step I'm going to do is after I sew this side of her shirt, I'm going to work on her hat. So this mustard fabric that I got from Walmart the other day, I'm going to use that as her hat like that. You know, I'm sure it's going to look very beautiful as it will complement the bottom color of the flowers down here. So one thing I also want to point out, or another thing I want to point out is when I was in college doing type of stuff, it was always been difficult for me to draw, paint hair of any kind. So I don't want to make it difficult for myself in doing the same thing for her hair and make my life a lot easier. That's why I got to think abstract. So it's going to be some kind of zigzag or some kind of sewing here of her hair. And so anyway, that's usually how I start this project and or a project that I'm working on. And of the ones that I've done, this is how I approached it. I am sure there is other ways of doing it, and I've seen a lot of people, a lot of YouTube tutorials on it in free motion, I think it's called. I don't have those kind of tools for my sew machine. I just have a standard, and so that's what I'm doing. And maybe later down the road, when I get a little bit better at this, then I'm gonna switch to free motion. So here I want to share with you what I have done so far. I did this yesterday, and again, this image that it was sketched out like this, and I went ahead and cut out her dress as a pattern, and I put that down first, and then I sewed it over. That gave me a good idea of positioning where her leg is going to be, the ribbon, and her head as well. So and then I went ahead and finished with the sewing on the stitching of all the outline here. The only part here is, as I mentioned on her face here, the details of it. What I chose to do here was I went ahead and did it by hand as well as her hand. And sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. Depends. So anyway, this is how I did this one and layered it on a piece of cardstock. And I'm going to add this to my fall journal that I'm working on. And the next step here with the coloring of the leaves that I put in as orange, here is how I achieve that. Is I've used this Inktense, I think it's called, and I've been working with this a lot. It's watercolor based, so I really like how it works. And what I did here is I got a piece of one of the coloring pencil, and I went colored all the spaces where I need this color to be at, and then I added this aloe vera gel. Now this where I seen a video of this tutorial was using the aloe vera gel was her. I think her YouTube channel. It's stitched by Julia. I'm not sure if anyone has seen that, but I really, really like her stitching tutorials that she does. And well, I'm not as good as her, but she does such beautiful work over there. So thank you, Julia. So anyway, I dab a little bit of the gel, and I just put it in the area where I want to. See if I can be in frame here, and I dab it just a little bit, and it will activate the color. And another thing I like about this gel is it doesn't overflow into the other side of the fabric, and you can control it. So that is how I did the leaves there. And I'm going to show more as I continue of this one here that I'm working on. Film the sewing area. So thank you again for coming along, and I will come back for more information on how I'm finishing this and the outcome of it. Thank you. Bye. Okay, so here I have and working with tracing paper that has my sketch of an image outline, neutral cotton fabric, and cardstock for layering, as well as focal point of the fabric to create textile art. Use your fabric scraps in doing this. It's a good way of using them up, and use what you already what's already available to you, such as snippet or found object in this type of project. So in layering and collaging all these pieces, including linen, lace, and paper, will evolve and change until the last stitch of my project. So my go-to glue here is Fabri-Tac, and to me it holds very well, and it's permanent. I guess permanent is not the right word, but it does hold what my art pieces together very well. And I have glue stick, which is temporary. I only use it when I need it, and here I'm just kind of showing you the two options. And Fabri-Tac does seep through fabric, so you have to be very careful on how much you use. And I'm positioning her jacket here and how I'm gonna cut out her jacket, and make sure that everything lines up. And just start cutting out her jacket. And I don't want to use, I think it's called Heat and Bond. It's iron-on adhesive, kind of like creating an applique. I don't want to use this here because this project here I'm doing, it's going to evolve and change, as I mentioned, is textile art. And it will give the imperfection and all the other subject matters that I put together. It will create its own art, I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'm explaining everything in as clearly, but I'm doing the best I can. And also my construction method here are using sewing machine, cutting patterns, and adding needlework, using embroidery thread as needed. In doing so, I enjoy subject relating to autumn season, that I am doing this for the challenge, using orange and leaves. So here I cut out what I need to cut out, and this is my base, and this is where I'm going to start. And here I'm putting down lace. So my thinking is to add some lace to her jacket, the garment there. To me, lace adds another layer of dimension and texture to the subject, and I like using as much as I can in especially for this jacket here. And I'm not precisely cutting out where measuring and making it perfect. And again, it's just cutting fabric as you go and putting all these pieces together. And then I know that putting the Fabri-Tac glue is probably kind of a challenge, but you know, that's again, I'm very careful of where I put it and how much I use. And now I'll just line this up on her jacket. And then after I do this, I'm going to sew the pieces together. And then as you can see, I've already cut out the hat and her scarf. So the hat and the scarf and her gloves are all going to be the same color, which is brown. Again, I'm not thinking too much of the preciseness. I'm just cutting away what I need to cut away. And in doing this, as this is sort of my first time doing this, I've read a few books on textile art and learned that it has been the backbone of human life since as early as when civilization began, and has been used to make cloth, tapestry, and so much more. And there's such beautiful work out there that other artists have created. And as you can see, I put the face and then the hat and then her tie or her scarf and her gloves. And I will sew all of this together. I'll come back, show you what I did, and here it is. And here are the last pieces, her glove, scarf, her hat. After I glue them down, I'm going to go ahead and finish sewing all of it. So in doing so, I found this type of art is different from the other work I have done, and the movement I have found due to its focus and pattern on patterns and the shapes, because it speaks not just the visual but also the tactile sensory experience of a new pathway and a new special way of seeing beauty. And I may sound corny, but that's kind of like what came to me as I was doing this type of work. And some may see as a poetry as well. And that's what I enjoy about this whole challenge that I'm doing. And I am glad I did all of this. So here is the finished product or the finished art. I really like how it turned out. Hi, this is Dora. I wanted to come back on and show you what I completed for the YouTube monthly challenge for Kreativ Paper Artisan. And a couple of days ago, I showed a rough draft of the cutout of her shirts, and then I mentioned about the hat, and I went ahead and did the sewing and completed that. And I also added leaves here and another leaf right there, and a ribbon and an embroidery flower here, which I cut out from a handkerchief. And the hair, I just did a squiggly type of sewing there, and I thought that it came out okay. And as far as the nose and the eyes and the mouth details, and that came out really well as well. And I did not want to paint anything as far as the watercolor pencil goes. Sometimes you have to stop yourself, and I sort of go a little bit too far when I'm doing these type of projects, so I had to, stop and say enough. And I'm glad I did that because I really like it. And just to mention that the back is the raw stitching, and I really, really like that. And this is, I think I'm going to use this as a pocket in my journal. And I also did this little boy running in the leaves and grass and so on. And I also added fabric leaves here, and I cut his shirt and the shorts as well. I contemplated on coloring the shoes, socks, and the leaves, but I wanted just to leave it as an empty space. And that's what I call these the areas that are not colored in, that is just sewn and it's just showing the outline of it, an empty space. So I really like it like that. So this will become a tag. Again, I think I want to do this as a tag, and the back raw stitching, and I'm going to cover another piece of paper so that there you have a spot to journal. And I also finished this one, which I had shown to you as to what each step that I took on completing this girl here. And also, this is my second one that I did, and I really was happy about doing this, because something about the as I was going, because this is kind of like my first time doing this, and I'm not sure what I'm doing, so I kind of got the confidence and I don't know, just a boost of continuing this project, because I wasn't sure what I was doing when I first started. And as you can see, I didn't put no lines in her face, and sometimes that's the best thing to do, because it just makes it that much unique to the textile that you're doing. And I did color her shoe black with that watercolor ring pencils that I had, as well as the leaves here. And I have not sewn the edge of it just yet, because I'm not sure what this is going to become, a pocket, a tag, or a flip out. And again, the back, I use a different type of paper to layer it, and I feel like either this or the cardstock works, because this paper here is kind of like as thick as the cardstock. And then this was my very first one, and it's my favorite. It's very abstractish figure here that I use, and I used a lot of the leaves as well, and the hat matching the jacket, and then the skirt matching their scarf, and a little flower up there. I really thought that I did a really good job on this for my first time, so I'm proud of myself. And the hair, first I tried to do the squiggly line with my sewing machine, but it wasn't happening, so I went ahead and used embroidery thread and sewed to create a hair. So I thought it came out okay. And this one, I think it's going to become a I'm not quite sure. I'll have to think about that. And then this was my third one that I did, and it's quite different from all of these, because I don't have no orange in here. And I also put a lace and a different type of fabric there, and just kind of like a combination of, like, I didn't like do a solid fabric color or design there. So I really thought that was unique. And of course, I did a design around her shirt that she's wearing. And the eyes, I'm not quite sure, to be honest with you, how I did that, but it came out really well. As you can, if you look at it, it looks like I did a lot of work, which I didn't. And like I said, I don't remember how I did that, but I really like this image, how it came out. And then I have these bookmarks, just your regular bookmarks that's out there, that's with fabric. And this image is printed on fabric as well. And then a little leaf there, and then it's backed up with cardstock. And also another fabric. These three bookmark are lined with batting, and not very thick, it's somewhat of a thin batting for quilting. So anyway, I went ahead and did those as well. And this is also, I did finish today. Leaves, added fabric leaves here. Autumn, the sweetest memories. And again, the image is printed on fabric and back with cardstock. So anyway, this is what I've been working on, and I hope you enjoyed my YouTube. And I'm hoping that I can do more tutorial on this as I continue to learn, and I can continue to show with different techniques of how I can do some of the appliques with bonding. I think they're called bonding sheets, and there's another thing that's called a silky, C or SULKY, I think it's called. It's a very thin plastic material that you put over, and you stitch, not stitched, do your sketching first, and then you stitch. I've seen some of that on Stitch by Julia as well, and she's given me so much ideas in completing this project. And so anyway, again, I hope you enjoyed visiting my channel, and if you have any questions, please put it in the comment, and thank you for visiting.